In France, Macron's government forced through plans to raise country's retirement age from 62 to 64 without a parliamentary vote. This has triggered a fierce backlash from opposition lawmakers and workers' unions. Jeong Eun-joo has more.
French President Emmanuel Macron on Thursday ordered his Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne to wield a special constitutional power to push an unpopular pensions bill through the National Assembly without a vote.
We cannot bet on the future of our pensions. This reform is necessary.
The move, using Article 49, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution, will ensure the bill is adopted despite weeks of protests and debate. President Macron decided to invoke the special power during a cabinet meeting at the presidential palace just a few minutes before the scheduled vote in France's lower house of parliament because he had no guarantee of a majority. Opinion polls show a vast majority of voters oppose the pension reform, as do trade unions who say there are other ways to balance the accounts, including taxing the wealthy more. Macron has made the proposed pension changes the key priority of his second term, arguing that reform is needed to keep the pension system from diving into a deficit. A no-confidence motion expected early next week needs approval by more than half the assembly. If it passes, which would be a first since 1962, the government would have to resign. If no-confidence motions don't succeed, the pension bill would be considered adopted. Nearly 3/4 of the public are opposed to raising the retirement age from 62 to 64, according to polls, and millions have turned up at protests not only in Paris and big cities but also in small towns. Fires burned on the streets of Paris on Thursday night as police fired tear gas to disperse protesters. Massive protests have been held regularly throughout France since mid-January, with millions turning out to voice their opposition to the government's plan. Jeong Eun-joo, Arirang News.